So, what will happen to your Social Security if you retire early, potentially at age 55? What money would you leave behind? What will happen to your spouse's benefit? What happens later in life? Will Social Security still be there? These are some of the questions we must ponder as we think about an early retirement. And in this video, I want to give you some insight so you can make the right decision. Before we get there, do subscribe to our channel and hit the notifications bell so you're alerted to when we post new videos. So I get asked this question a lot from my clients. Well, can I retire early? And what would be the impact? Which is a great question. You should be asking this question. What would be the impact down the road on future income sources? And one of those very important and crucial income sources is Social Security. So if you want to retire, let's say you came into an inheritance, you did very well on a stock, you may have a health situation, you may be bored with your job, or you just want to just step back and now truly get into this next chapter of life and maybe change your perspective a bit. Whatever it is that's compelling you to ask these questions, they're the right questions to have. Now let's provide you with some of the answers. So the first question that is posed often is the fear of whether or not Social Security will really be there for me later. If I do retire early, am I costing myself money on the other end? So let me go to my screen for a moment and let's address this. So as you can see here, we have the OASDI Trust. Oh, by the way, do you know what that stands for? Believe it or not, it's Old Age Survivor Disability Insurance Program. Maybe they should update that name. But in any case, this slide is just about a year older than it should be, but the numbers are still right on target, where we show the trust fund basically bringing in just about as much money as it is sending out. So we've basically reached the point on this pay-as-you-go system where we're going into a crossover point where we're going to be pushing more money out than coming in, which leads us to the conclusion of the trust and other independent sources that somewhere in the vicinity of 2034, 2035, there'll be approximately 79 to 80% of the guaranteed payouts that will be able to continue to move forward, assuming there are no changes. So the reality is Social Security is not going bankrupt. They may, again, if nothing changes between here and there, 2034, 35, that nothing is implemented from a legislative perspective, that they can only pay out about 80 cents on the dollar of that which is guaranteed at the moment. But it would be death for politicians to move forward without addressing this. And it may be that we may not get to it till just before we go off the ledge, if you know what I mean. We've got other things we're dealing with right now. You know, trillions of dollars of packages in Congress right now, that we have to deal with coming out of the pandemic, infrastructure bills, energy, all of that we have to deal with, in addition to this enormous situation, which has really been going on for many years. It goes back to 1983, since we had the last adjustment to Social Security. And if you take a look at another video that we have, Social Security and the Biden administration and what the administration is considering in terms of changes, you'll see there are a number of opportunities for us to make some adjustments that will be able to, if you will, sort of kick the can down the road and continue to provide more liquidity and solvency for the administration. So the answer to the question of whether or not it won't be there for us, I don't believe that's a concern. I believe that we will be all set because there will be changes that will be made down the road. So the next question is that we have to deal with is, how is Social Security calculated? When were we born? As it relates to what full retirement age will be, which will help us to understand the question as to whether or not it's okay or not to retire early at 55 and what the impact on our Social Security benefits will be down the road. So let me take you back to my screen. So your benefit will depend on how much you earned over your working career and the age at which you apply for benefits. So here's the slide that talks about how Social Security benefits are calculated. It's a little bit in the weeds, but I think it's important for you to understand this. At age 62, each year's earnings are tallied up and indexed for inflation. This is a really important point, folks. The highest 35 years of earnings are averaged. It's called the AIME. And then the AIME is divided into 3 bend points. Again, getting way too much into the weeds, but it's important to understand that once it gets into this calculator, it comes up with your PIA, which is the primary insurance amount, and this is the amount you'll receive at full retirement age. And then the benefit is increased each year by cost of living adjustments, or the COLA. So here's an example of what happens when they put the numbers through. Let's say you're a baby boomer born in 1957. You had maxed out on your Social Security earnings. You've been working since you were 22. The calculator comes up to an AIME of 10,296, and they go through the PIA formula. It sounds like alphabet soup, but this is really, really important, folks. The PIA is what you will get at full retirement age, your FRA, and it shows that just north of $3,000 a month would be the amount that you will receive at full retirement age if you were working all along and born in 1957. So what is full retirement age? If you were born between 1943 and 1954, your full retirement age was 66. If you're born in 1960 or later, it's 67 years old. And anything in between, it's prorated for 2 months. So I was born in 1955, so my full retirement age is 66 and 2 months. Now that is when my full retirement age primary insurance amount comes in. So that number that was just a little north of $3,000. If I take it earlier than age 66 and 2 months, then I'm in what I call the penalty phase, where they deduct or take a haircut from the amount that I would take. Or if I defer it till the age of 70, I'm in the bonus phase, I call it, where we get an 8% deferred credit each and every year. And if I wait till age 70, I get 4 more years of 8% per year in addition to the $3,030 I'm eligible for at full retirement age. So you can start it at 62 if you like, but that just gives you a sense of, to answer the question, what is full retirement age? Now on this channel, I've dedicated an enormous amount of the videos that we have and the resources to truly understanding all of the ins and outs of taking it early, taking it later, spousal benefits, etc. This isn't the video for that, but if you're interested, make sure you go to the rest of my channel to pick up which of the Social Security topics are important to you. So let's answer the question now. Now that you understand about the fear of whether or not Social Security will be there or not, I believe it will, and you understand now how they calculate your benefit and what full retirement age means, let's take a look at this question. If I retire at 55, what impact will it have? So let me give you the numbers, and maybe you can relate to them. So the question is, what is the impact of retiring at age 55? And let's assume for this circumstance, you were born in 1955, and you worked until the year 2011. You're 55 years old. And to give you some context, in 1991, this person earned $29,000. In 1994, they earned $60,000. In 2001, they earned $80,000. $100,000. It was a nice career. And in 2011, when this individual was going to retire, he was earning $106,000. Now, all of this is indexed and gone through the calculator and the bend points and indexed for inflation. And remember, it only takes the top 35 years. So if over the next, if you were to work another 5 years, what would be the impact? I'll talk about that in just a moment. But here's some context for you in terms of this individual when he then asks the question, what impact will it have if I retire at 55? So the results show that if he retired in 2011 at the age of 55, his full retirement number, his PIA, the primary insurance amount, will be approximately $2,846. If he had waited another 5 years and earned at least enough to bump up to the top 35 years he had had previously, so there is some benefit to working. That's an important element in this. If it did add some value, then the maximum he could get if he worked another 5 years would be $3,086, or about $240 gross, not even taking into account taxes, per month. Again, if he retired at full retirement age. So here's the question. I could retire now at the age of 55, or I could wait till I'm 60. If I truly enjoy my job and I enjoy the lifestyle I have right now, sure, work another 5 years. But if the question is it okay to retire now at 55? The impact on Social Security, all it is $240 gross a month. Netted out, it may be $200 or $180 in terms of what your net after tax number is, depending upon what your income is. So you've got to ask the question from a journey perspective, from a joy of life perspective. Is that $200 to $240 per month worth it to you to work another 5 years? Because that's the only impact that there is. And the real question is, are you prepared for retirement, retiring at age 55, 60, or 65? So go to the quiz that we have. It's 2 minutes, just 2 minutes of your life. I'll answer the question as to how prepared you are for retirement. Once you've completed the quiz, I'll score it for you, show you which of the 3 retirement planning preparedness stages you are in. I'll give you a free chapter of my new book, Don't Outlive Your Money in Retirement, and a couple of worksheets to make sure that you gain some more clarity in terms of what is good for you. I actually spend an entire section, an entire chapter in the book on Social Security. And if you have any more questions, make sure you take a look at our playlist that goes through the 7-step process and walks you through even more so some of the questions you may have with regards to Social Security. I hope you truly do enjoy the retirement journey.